Coaches, we've talked about planning each session. Now let's talk about the game plan. And I know that some of you have not got access to the ability to analyse the opposition. You haven't got those resources. So let's look at a game plan which would cater for you. Now there's some natural weaknesses in the game, and those natural weaknesses are in the transition area. And what I mean by that is the area, if that's the scrum and this is the line out, and we say this is number 7, who's the tail gunner or the flanker on that side of the scrum, the natural weakness is between him and the first back. So there's a natural weakness down that transition. And so part of your game plan is to exploit that natural weakness. Now you can't do it by playing in the pocket. You've got to play flat, all right? And play flat off the back of the line out and flat off the back of the scrum so you can exploit that natural weakness. The second natural weakness in the game is behind the first line of defence, and the next line of natural weakness is in that area there. So that's the second area that you can exploit with a short kicking game so that your players running on can take advantage of that. The third natural weakness is outside 13. More difficult to exploit because obviously it requires a bit of catching and passing to get through that area outside of 13. So they are the three. 1, the transition. 2, behind the first line of defence. And 3, the weakness outside 13, that you can set up a game plan to exploit the opposition. The other one is obviously the strengths of your team. What are the strengths? Have you got particularly strong loose forwards, so you have moved around the scrum? Have you got a strong centre pairing, so your centre pairing attacking this, your 12 and 13 are big and strong and they can exploit weaknesses and they've got good feet, so they can take weak shoulders and they can bust the first line of defence and get the offload going. Have you got particularly quick wingers? What is your strength? So you need to bring them obviously into your game plan as well. Now if you go the next step and you say, I have got the ability to analyse the opposition, then you can look at their weaknesses. And their weaknesses may be that they've got a slow number 6 off the side of the scrum. So he's a big man, he's probably good at carrying the ball, good in the line out, but not so good as a defender on that side of the scrum. So you may be able to exploit him. They may have a 15 back here, all right, who's very left-footed. But when he runs from left to right, so he's on his right foot, he's a weakness you can exploit. So kicking into that left corner, getting a good chase on and putting him under pressure. Now, a lot of teams have a suspect defender at 10. I can't think of one just offhand, but you will be able to think of one. A suspect defender, so that exploits that transition channel, becomes even more important. The channel of 10 and the transition. So if you have got the ability to analyse the opposition, you know, there may be some weaknesses there. They may have a weakness on defending patterns. So if you play wide, come back to midfield, then switch back to where you've come from, I'll repeat that. So you play wide, come back to midfield, and then go back to where you've come from. Their defence may not have the numbers necessary. They may not scan and number up well, and you've worked that out from the analysis. So there's all sorts of ways of developing game plans. Natural weaknesses, your strengths, and weaknesses in the opposition, or weaknesses in team defence by the opposition. So good luck with that.